In the poor black neighborhoods of this segregated city, someone gets shot roughly every 2.5 hours. I'm here to find out why the violence is so bad and why it seems to be getting worse. I'm at Mount Sinai Hospital, which is Chicago's largest and busiest trauma unit. Apparently there were 3 people in this car who were shot at. You can see the car's riddled with bullets. So they managed to drive themselves to hospital. This is the second shooting in the space of an hour, and in many ways, this is a normal Friday night in Chicago. This spring, shootings are up 84%. From what I can see, there are 10 bullet holes in the car. 2 of them are at head height, and they're pretty big. This wasn't a small handgun they used at all. A shocked relative tells me violence is affecting everybody in the community.
Where's the love? You can't go to a park. You can't go get something to eat. You can't ride the bus. A little girl just got shot in Humboldt Park a week ago on her way to school. It's heartbreaking. When is it gonna stop?
14 people have been wounded in street violence in Chicago, including 6 shootings within a 2-hour span early today.
Guiding me through this neighborhood is a man who's trying to stop the violence.
Chicago has hit a rough spot. It's kind of dangerous on these streets right now.
Lee Daniel lives in Chicago's West Side. He's a former gang member who served 15 years in jail. That's behind him now.
Well, right now I'm laid off, and I'm doing side jobs. I take people to the grocery stores, drive a little cab, but my passion is violence prevention.
Lee is a violence interrupter. His aim is to stop tense situations on the streets from escalating. He's on his way to a prayer vigil for a young man called Sean Gooden, who's just been murdered. So tell me about this young boy that got shot. It's just a couple of days, you said?
Yeah, he got killed. Somebody shot him. I really don't know why, but every other week somebody was getting killed. I'm talking about running up behind you on the street, shooting you in the head. Yes.
Sean was an influential member of a local gang called the Conservative Vice Lords. Lee's afraid they'll want revenge for his death.
Much as I run and hide, so that's why when we turn this corner, please cut the light out, okay?
Sean's friends and fellow gang members have gathered outside his home.
That was scary, man.
Sean was a drug dealer and gang leader, killed 3 days before his 25th birthday. He was well known and liked by many in the community. One of his neighbors sees the vigil and realizes for the first time that he's dead.
Oh, man. Oh, God.
There's part of me that at times feels like with the amount of violence here that people must just get used to it. But seeing that woman's reaction, there's no way to get used to seeing someone so young who's been shot. Lee's worried. At least one of Sean's friends has turned up to the vigil with a weapon. The boy with the yellow jacket is hiding a gun under his belt.
You see the gun? Mm-hmm. They have guns out here like that. They ready.
This is a high-tension situation.
Yes.
How do you deal with people who are this emotional?
Before I go into a situation, I have to calm myself down. Because how can I calm someone else down if I'm not calm? Well, I told you I'm paying respect to Big Sean, man.
Yeah, we finna move around for the police.
Y'all be careful, too.
I love you.
All right. I know for sure it's gonna be a retaliation.
Sean's mum, Bridget, comes out. She works as a hospital administrator and was at work when she found out about his death.
I called his phone, he didn't answer. 10 minutes later, I got a text. They texted me back and said, the buddy you're looking for is dead. Ha, 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 one up on us.
Oh, my.
Yeah. So I knew at that point my baby was dead.
Oh, my God. With Sean having been so involved with his gang, do you think some of them might be looking for revenge now?
Of course. Of course. But if whoever shot my baby, if he was to sit at my dining room table right now, you know what the text I sent back to him? I said, God bless you and your mother, because that was my son.
Sean's enemies posted messages on his Facebook page, mocking him and his gang.
Now these pictures are being shared, these threats are being shared. I actually just wrote Facebook to deactivate my son's account.
If it had stayed up, that page, do you think it would have led to more deaths?
Definitely. Definitely, because they mad. I'm mad. But do I got the heart to go out and kill somebody? No. Do somebody do? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to say.
Come in.
Thank you.
By the time we leave, Lee is on good terms with everyone. He says it's an important part of how he does his job.
The community calls us.
They call you before they call the police?
Yes, sometimes they do. And that's not a knock at the police. They just don't want someone going to jail first, you know. So when we get to these incidents, conflicts, we try and stop them from escalating before someone do go to jail or go to the hospital or even be killed.
Lee used to be employed by the city as a violence interrupter. But Chicago is in the middle of a financial crisis, and he was made redundant.
This is Seyi Lee.
Look at my rabbits. Look.
I want to know how his wife, LaShawn, feels about him putting himself in the firing line.
Nice to meet you. I'm Seyi.
I think he takes it overboard.
Right.
If we could be driving down the street, and if he sees the fight, he's gonna stop, put on his jacket, and go save someone.
You think he should stop?
Especially now.
Why?
You're not getting paid. You're not a police officer, you know?
And I'm not trying to be now.
You're not. It seems like it. It just seems like it. I don't know. I know you have a passion for it, but you know, I just think it's overboard.
I'm trying to save a life.
Oh, I like that.
I'm serious.
I'm serious too.
Sean's case should be simple. He was shot in public in front of witnesses, as in many of Chicago's homicides. But many witnesses are too scared to come forward, and they don't trust the police. Only 25% of murders here are solved. High-profile cases of police brutality have made things worse. This means the role of community violence prevention workers is key.
We got more killings right now and shootings.
Danye Smith works for a city agency called Ceasefire, Lee's former employer. After funding cuts, Danye's now the only violence interrupter in Englewood, a neighborhood notorious for shootings.
Yeah, so what's going on around here then at the moment? Why can't we get out the car?
Because it's a war zone. We got like a 30, 40 block radius of guys killing each other every day, like killing each other. These are where majority of the murders happen.
Like Lee, Danye used to be a gang member. Now he's trying to keep the neighborhood safe.
It's very dangerous for kids going to and from school. This is my nieces right here walking home.
Hey. How's it going? Squeeze in. How was school?
Good.
Yeah? You learn a lot?
Yes.
Good. So how many blocks is it from school to home?
I'll say about 4.
4 blocks. Not that far. Yeah, well, Danya didn't want to see you out on the streets. Do you ever feel like you could end up getting hit by a stray bullet or something?
Yeah. All you gotta do just stop and duck.
Yeah, stop and duck.
Yeah.
Is that what they teach you? Stop and duck. Wow. They're sweet little girls, but God, drop and duck is not the kind of advice you'd expect them to have to learn at school.
The most important part of a violence interrupter's job is gaining the trust of those most likely to commit a violent crime, like Kool-Aid, a local drug dealer.
Yes, sir.
2 weeks ago, Kool-Aid nearly shot someone in a row over $10, and Danye talked him down.
We're going to walk down the road and have a little chat, but he's explaining to me that for my safety and for his, we're going to walk on the shady side of the street rather than in the sun, because there are some gangways on this side, and so we can run if someone starts shooting.
Within minutes, Kool-Aid's telling me how his sister was killed at her 10th birthday party.
So she hopped up and tried to run to her mother. When she hopped up out the floor, before she could stand all the way up, a bullet hit her in the back of the head.
You saw it happen?
But that was just the start.
My dad was the only one there for me.
Where is he now?
He died when my sister got killed. She died March 11, 06. He died March 18, 06. All hell lost loose with all the kids. All my brothers, they start experimenting different drugs, started getting in trouble, steady going back and forth to jail. Never thought I was even going to go to college, but I did it. And when I went to college, my brother got killed.
So why you smoke so much weed?
Weed helped me relax. It helped my nerves. I shake a lot, like I be on edge all the time. It helped keep me calm.
Do you know what that's called? There's a name for what you have.
No,
It's post-traumatic stress. Soldiers go through it. Everybody who's seen stuff like that goes through it.
But they have help.
But they have help. Has anybody ever told you that you are traumatized?
When I was in 4th grade, I tried to kill myself. In 4th grade, I tried to commit suicide. I cut my wrist and stuff, so, with the lady, the counselor and stuff come help me, but we in Chicago public school system. She only came and saw me probably like a week or something.
You're just a normal guy going through traumatic situation. Why are you still out here? You know that every day that you're out here, you're going to see another thing that's going to set you back.
Where's I'm going to go? Can I go to London with you and walk around how you walk your kids to the park? You could take your kids to the park right down the street. It's a park right here down the street. You could take your kids to that park, your kids' park. You ain't got to worry about nobody's shoe. I can't even take my nieces and nephews to the park. When I take a female out, I got to go where white folks at. And already when I go where white folks at, they judging me how I look already. So now when I come here, the manager's trying to find...
Kool-Aid's trapped here, partly by the racism he experiences elsewhere, but mostly by his own traumatic memories.
Only thing I'm good at is selling drugs, though, you know what I'm saying?
You're making me emotional, man. Seriously.
I ain't emotional. I don't even cry no more, really, but it's the way this is. You say go to the right place. Where is the right place? Yeah, it is my place to run, though, you know what I'm saying? Like...
Speaking to Kool-Aid, I start to understand that this is a community that's traumatized. Everybody is going through psychological trauma and things that they're doing, it's how they cope with what they're going through.
I've come to meet Lance Williams, a professor of urban studies. He's lived and worked in these neighborhoods all his life.
You live in communities where the schools don't work anymore. There's no job. So you have general frustration, rage, because you see life passing you by. You know, guys are stressed, resorting to self-medication. You have a lot of guys that are clinically depressed, you know, and it's leading to a lot of this violence. And then the social media does exacerbate it, because then it gives another vehicle for a culture of violence. It makes it easier to beef.
Barack Obama started his political career in Chicago, and his former chief of staff, Rahm Emanuel, is now the mayor. This year, he closed 47 of the city's public schools.
With these kind of conditions, it doesn't matter who the president is. It's just unfortunate it's on the watch of the first African-American president. But think about this. Almost 100% of the people in the city of Chicago will agree that school closures, that policy contributes mightily to the violence.
Radio shootings across Chicago since yesterday left at least one dead and more than 20 people wounded, including drive-by shootings of the Gold Coast.
Nowadays, social media is a big part of gang culture. Gang members post photos, videos, and make songs glorifying their gang and insulting their opponents. King Yella is a member of a gang called the Gangster Disciples. Today, he and his crew are making a video for their latest song. These guys are part of the drill music scene. Drill is a kind of ultra-violent gangster rap that originated in Chicago's poor black neighborhoods. Stars of the scene aren't millionaires who rap about gangs. They're gangsters who also happen to make music.
Okay, you gon' sleep in the lake. The picture running, yeah, I know. You got a hot head,
Tell me about your career.
No, this music stuff changed our life, you know, give us something positive to do. You know, even though we might say some not positive things, but we still, Not standing on the corner shooting nobody selling drugs, you feel me?
But the kids who were standing on the corner shooting people and selling drugs, they're listening to you.
Now they listen. You just said the right thing, you hear me? It's not our fault, but listen, we only is responsible for ourselves, nobody else.
Their music is filled with references to local gangs, local neighborhoods, and petty disputes. They're called diss songs. The more provocative the song, the more likes it gets on YouTube.
When you're on social media, you put a video out there, put something on YouTube, these kids get involved, they start posting comments. For them, it's real. And on the streets, even though for you it's a job, on the streets, they're dying for this.
As a matter of fact, turn that down. Look, they just make us seem like we just monsters and all. This how it's just made out to the world. We just monsters, man. We live regular lives too, you feel me? We ain't out here just trying to kill people, you feel me? They be like, why y'all got guns? We gonna protect ourselves because you got people out here crazy that's really out here trying to kill on a daily basis, you feel me?
Rio Austin is Yellow's video director. He's preparing to upload the video.
Send it to YouTube, like upload it, you know, make sure people see it.
Then he shows me a video of a rapper called Capo. Until last year, he regularly featured in diss videos on YouTube. He's lying on the ground, there's a pool of blood. Capo's fame, rivalries, and death all played out online. He was one of 11 rappers murdered in the city last year.
So why did he get killed? Man, Chicago, man.
The move comes after a shooting outside the club on Friday night.
Boy was shot as he stood on the sidewalk at 56th and Walcott in West Inglewood.
I've joined Lee again. Ever since he met her at the vigil, he's paid regular visits to Sean's mum.
Oh, this is him at his first graduation.
They're so cute in their suits at that age because you always have to buy them so big.
High school graduation picture there. But that's my grandbaby right there. Her name is going to be Peyton Rashawn. I was looking for this.
That's his kid?
He's had a baby girl. Had a
What?
baby girl. Yeah.
Oh.
Jude? Oh.
In May 1st. First week of May. He has a little girl girl.
Oh my God. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, this is her.
I didn't know that. I almost...
It's now a week since Sean's murder.
But the strange part about it is, even though Sean was an active gangbanger, he didn't lose his life over gangbanging. He lost his life over trying to get a girl.
Right.
He was Facebook beefing with a rival gang member. When he went to the store to meet this little girl, the rival gang member was in the store. They exchanged words again. Rashawn throws his hands up like, F you, man, and leave out the store. The guy shot him in the back. My baby was shot in the back.
Lee feels sure that Sean's friends are planning to retaliate.
If somebody came and said, "Ma, don't worry about it. I got this here. We gonna get to it." What would you say to him?
Somebody did come to me.
See, I knew somebody came to you, right?
And I told them, y'all, you gotta stop. Leave it alone. Just leave it alone. They shook their heads and said, okay, Mom. Now, whether they not do it or not, I don't know.
Lee's got Bridget's blessing to do all he can to stop Sean's gang retaliating. But Chicago's gang culture has changed, which makes his task harder.
When years ago, they was all one gang.
Well, they all split.
Oh, not gangs now. Now they call cliques. Now you got to click on this block, or click on that block, or click on that block. So now that's how you have more conflicts now. When years ago, it was one guy that you could go to and he would stop all of it.
From what you've told us about Sean in his own little way, he was responsible for the rest of the gang.
Yeah. See, by him being a leader of a small little clique, now that clique is gonna run wild till the next shooter steps up in line.
Lee wants to find Sean's clique before someone else gets shot. And he thinks he knows where they'll be.
This is a hot spot. You never know what might happen up here. Be aware.
Okay.
And before long, Lee's proved right.
Hey, why you?
Hey, you guys again. You staying safe? You staying out of trouble?
Oh yeah, we definitely safe and well protected. Lily, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, you ain't tell us you was coming to the hood.
If Lee's going to stop a shooting, he knows he needs to do it very soon. But the boys aren't sticking around. Later that night, Lee finds them again.
That's them right there. They go to BMW. That's them in the restaurant. I seen the guys that's gonna do the retaliation. I know them. See?
They're still out and about.
They still out about 1 o'clock in the morning. They looking for guys. Because those guys are shooters. Those guys got guns. And I know that.
So Lee, why can't you just go up to these guys and start talking to them? You're a violence interrupter.
You just can't go up to these guys, man. They know me as a violence interrupter, but I also have to respect them. I know them as shooters, so I know they could take my life. All it takes is one guy to say, hey, Lee, what the hell you want? I done seen you so many times today.
Taking a risk, he heads back to see if he can approach them.
That's them right there.
Yeah, I recognize him with the dreads.
Mm-hmm. Then they go to big fella.
Yeah.
The driver. They go to the little guy in the back.
Suddenly, Lee spots something else. One of the group is on the lookout.
See, they see us. They see us. They see us.
And it feels like he's about to shoot.
They are literally like soldiers. They're constantly looking around. You can't be anywhere near them without them seeing you. They're in the middle of a gang war right now, and a car pulling up and slowing down, people inside peering at them. That's exactly how drive-by shootings start.
I might get a call later tonight or in the next few minutes of shots fired over there. Watch. I'm serious, because that's how they play the game.
Lee was right. In the weeks that follow, one of Sean's friends kills someone in a rival clique, and within 24 hours, he himself is also shot and killed. Working alone, Lee couldn't interrupt this gang's cycle of violence. Neither could the police. Nobody has yet been arrested for any of these murders. But Lee is still out on the streets.
You know what I'm saying? I just come off 10 years. So that's why I'm out here now. I'm trying to talk to these two little brothers and just put a bug in their head.
For communities like these, Lee is a rare and valuable example. He's turned away from a life of violent crime, and he's trying to help others do the same.
Take care too, man. All right? Yeah. Be careful. And I know his dad. And his dad was just killed like 4 months ago. And I went to the funeral. You know what I mean? That's generations.
How does it feel when you see them walk off like that? You've had a little chat, you've tried to plant the seed.
I feel good. I ain't gonna lie, I feel good about those 5 guys there. You know what I mean? If I can get 1 out of the 5, I mean, I wish I can get all 5. But 1 out of 5, I feel good. And I think I came through.
Some good work, man.
Around here, they need more people like Lee.
So Lee's seen something. I mean, you see things I don't see.
I'm in Detroit, a city where 2/3 of high school students struggle with basic reading. Raynard Robinson's 13, but he has the reading age of a 9-year-old. He's got just 3 weeks to improve his reading before an exam that could change his life.
If I don't learn how to read, like, where will I be at? Like, will I have a job? Will I have a home?
In the nearby city of Kalamazoo, Jerry Melson used to work in the car industry before the factories closed. Aged 56 and a recovering alcoholic, he's begun reading lessons after his life hit rock bottom.
Because I always thought that I never could learn. Why do it? Because I'm no good at it.
He's on a mission to master these skills so he can read a story with his granddaughter. I want to find out why so many in the world's biggest economy are struggling to read. It's 3 p.m. in Detroit. I'm in a van picking up kids to take them to a fight club. We have 3 more kids to pick up, and then we're going to go to the boxing gym.
Yeah, bumped it.
Detroit has some of the highest rates of violent crime in the country, but these children aren't here to learn how to defend themselves.
So, Samantha, what do you like about the boxing gym?
That they have reading programs.
Yeah?
127 kids come here for what they say is the best lesson of the day. An after-school club where reading is combined with a workout in the ring. The gym was founded by boxing coach Carly Sweeney. Coach Carly uses boxing to get kids through the door. This is not just any gym, right?
Our motto is books before boxing.
Books.
Books before boxing.
Books before boxing.
So this is our classroom.
Why did you start this gym? Why was it important to do this bit with the academics?
I felt it was a need because myself personally, I went through school from the 3rd grade on out. I knew I couldn't read. I couldn't read or write, period. They passed me on. Before you know it, I was in high school. I'm almost ready to graduate.
How does that happen?
The same way it happens today. We have kids who are graduating as honor students. But if you test them, which we do here, we hire an outside company to come in and test our kids. And when they come back with their reading scores and they're reading at a 3rd grade, 4th grade level and they're about to go to college, there's something wrong.
Carly knows firsthand the challenges these kids face growing up in Detroit's toughest neighborhoods.
You know, I've been shot. I've been in the gang. I've seen some of the most horrible things can happen to human beings happen. All of my friends are either dead or in jail. If you have an education, you have hope. As long as you have hope, then you'll go out there and you'll try and you'll have something to live for. Because when I didn't have hope, myself personally, when I was told every day that I was gonna be dead or in jail before I'm 21, I was like, I ain't got nothing to lose.
There are 800 kids on the waiting list. Every child has to do at least 20 minutes of reading before they can get into the ring. 13-year-old Reynard's been coming here for 18 months. In 3 weeks, he's got a big exam, and his tutor's helping him with his reading.
What is the rule that's important?
Kite.
Nope, no silent E.
Like so many children in this country, he's struggling at school. 93% of kids his age in Detroit are way behind in their reading.
Kate.
And the individual sounds help you sound it out.
Kit.
Right.
After 20 minutes in class, it's Reynard's chance to hit the gym. Reynard's biological dad died recently of a chronic illness. He struggles with anger issues, getting into fights at school.
If I want to, I can come out here and train, let all my anger out on the bag.
So have you done your homework today?
Yes, I started on my science project. They helped me out. And I had in my reading section, they helped me understand the words more.
Coach Carly's proud to tell us every single student who's attended his gym has gone on to graduate from high school when they're 18. But it seems extraordinary to me that it's down to volunteers in a gym to teach kids to read.
Susan! Hey, it's time to clean up, guys. Let's go. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Y'all clean up, man. Let's go. Clean up.
Detroit has some of the highest levels of illiteracy in America, affecting generations, and it's not an isolated problem. 3 hours drive away is the city of Kalamazoo. I've come to meet Jerry Melson. At 56, he's a changed man. He's in this classroom here having a lesson right now.
It's gonna be lesson 14.
Okay.
Page 78. Okay.
All right. Shaggy?
Yep, good.
Among
Nostrils?
Good, yes.
Ill?
It will.
Ill.
It'll.
Okay.
He's been in prison twice for drink driving. A court's ordered him to come to these literacy classes.
What? Nectar.
Nectar. Yeah, you got her.
Nectar?
Yeah, nectar.
Oh, nectar.
Nectar.
All right.
Jerry says he's always felt inadequate. Learning to read is changing his life.
The word book is still a little bit sketchy to me. When people say I love to read, I look back at myself and say, I dreaded to read, you know?
Rob's learning to read too. A former truck driver, he hid his illiteracy by learning the shapes of street signs by heart.
I still have a fear of books. It's just like jumping off the high dive or the board. You know how you're scared to do it?
Rob and Jerry's teacher are encouraging Jerry to read a book to his granddaughter.
If you read to your granddaughter something that interests you.
I encourage you. Oh my gosh, pick up that book.
But it's a big step for Jerry, who doesn't want to be humiliated in front of his granddaughter.
I encourage you to do it as much as possible.
Jerry doesn't have a job, so the next morning I join him at his daughter's house, where he helps out as much as possible by looking after 6-year-old granddaughter Lele.
Long way round. All right, ready for school. Start the week.
You love school? Okay. You just like the holidays?
Yeah.
Jerry says he passed each school year because he was good at sports, but at 16, he dropped out.
Walk across the street, look both ways. Here's the bus now. Okay.
Love you.
Love you too.
When Jerry left school, he quickly got a job in a car factory where there were plenty of low-skilled jobs.
Hi, Lele.
Both Jerry's parents worked at General Motors.
I knew I was getting a job there. Kind of lied my way through it, and never could read nothing.
Did your daughters ever try and come to you for help with homework or with reading? Or, and how would you react to that?
Before they understood, I'd say, talk to your mom. Then I couldn't do the schoolwork. But her mother pretty much handled all that.
Do you feel you missed out?
Yeah, I didn't miss out.
Would you like to read a bedtime story to Lele?
It'd be nice.
Being here has really made me realize I take my own literacy for granted, but also that it's a lot more than just being able to read and write. It's about being able to participate in everyday life.
A big factor in America's illiteracy crisis is failing schools, and the state of Michigan has some of the worst performing schools in the country. Donald Trump's new education secretary, Betsy DeVos, is a multi-billionaire former head of the Michigan Republican Party.
CBS with an update. Betsy DeVos of Michigan is confirmed to serve as education secretary, but not without a bit of added drama at the vote.
There's no doubt that Betsy DeVos is going to be a controversial choice as Secretary of State for Education. She completely divides the Democrats and the Republicans. The Republicans say that she's going to be a fresh new voice in her role and that she's all about giving parents choice.
Betsy DeVos believes in replacing state schools with privately run charter schools. Critics say these schools make things worse by cherry-picking better students and leaving vulnerable kids behind. Back in Detroit, I catch up with Reynard to see how his reading is coming along. But first, he wants to show me something.
Is there a light? So tell me about your business.
Well, we usually cut lawn, rake leaves. Whatever you need.
Oh, and there's your lawnmower. You bought it?
Yes, $200.
With your own profit from your business? How many employees did you have?
I had 3.
3 employees. That's amazing.
He may be struggling at school, but he's got a knack for business.
I could be an entrepreneur, work my way up, then have a bunch of companies.
Sounds good.
Reynard's starting high school in September. Nearly a quarter of Detroit's schools are classed as failing. He's applying to one with a better reputation, but he has to pass a test first.
Reynard has some homework he's going to do, and so his mum is going to help him out. Reynard, do you think you're ready to take this test to get into this high school you want to go to?
No. Yes.
No, yes?
I'm a little nervous.
If he makes the grade, it could be a life-changing opportunity.
My grandpa always told me, like, if I keep trying, I'll do it. I'll succeed. So I just gotta keep trying now.
At primary school, Reynard developed a fear of reading.
Every time I looked at a word, it just looked like a bunch of blurry words just bunched together. And then I just throw like a bunch of sounds in there. And then I used to hate when somebody correct me.
Why? Why do you think you hated that?
Because, like, it made me feel bad, like.
Why is it so important for you to improve your reading?
Well, I see a lot of people out on the street now, and I wonder, like, is it because they couldn't do, like, a simple reading task? I'm, like, wondering, like, if I don't learn how to read, like, where will I be at? Like, will I have a job? Will I have a home? Where will I be at?
Reynard's mum, Nona, fears she won't always be around to help out.
He knows that I have heart problems, and I can't always be right there with him. Every day is not promised, and I just want to make him stronger. That's all. He don't need mama's hand to finish that work.
She's moved Reynard to 2 different schools, but he still hasn't learnt to read properly.
What would you say is one of the main reasons why schools are failing kids?
Teachers. Getting a teacher to stay at the school. Having a full semester with one teacher. Constantly switching teachers is not good for the kids. I love you. I love you more. This is true love.
Detroit schools struggle to recruit qualified teachers, and to fill the gaps, use temporary or unqualified staff. The local school authority denied us access to a number of failing schools. But they invited us into Benjamin Carson High School in central Detroit. It's one of the better schools.
We've been told we can listen in on this 10th grade English class. That means they're going to be about 15, 16 years old.
Shannon Waite's been teaching here for 2 years.
When the author sat down to write this book, is he trying to educate people, inform people? Is he trying to persuade people, get them to get up and do something?
Schools in America get more money per pupil than in most Western countries, but with worse results.
When we read anything, there's things that we can learn, right? That's the beauty of reading.
I'm on my way to a meeting with all the English teachers in this school, so hopefully I'm going to be able to ask them some questions. Who is at fault for the fact that children are going through school and not learning to read and write?
There's tons of research out there about students in poverty, kids in poverty. Like how many books are in the house, how many words they hear every day, and they compare that to like middle class and affluent families, and the differences are staggering.
That's where you guys are supposed to step in. That's why teachers are supposed to balance that out.
And I mean, we try, but if these students have parents who work midnights or work 2 jobs and don't have that support at home, or if they go home to like conflict or other issues.
I feel like in that situation, it's impossible to say like that's just the teacher's job.
But isn't that's a systemic failure then? It's a. I mean, I can't see it as you say.
There's a lot of elements. I would not. I don't think any teacher would say it's one thing that causes it.
We've heard a group of students are protesting outside a nearby failing school.
Some of the students here are involved in a lawsuit against the governor of the state. They say that not only do they have a constitutional right to an education, but that education actually has to teach them to read and write.
Andrea Jackson, a careers advisor at the school, is supporting the lawsuit.
Andrea? Yes. Hi, I'm Kiki. Hi.
She claims the state of Michigan has mismanaged Detroit's schools and their budgets, which is why some of them are failing.
The teachers need books in the classrooms. We need resources. The state of Michigan never invested in literacy programs, so the students want to learn and they can learn. We just want the school to be better.
The state denies these claims.
If you love Detroit kids, let me hear a shout out.
Andrea invites me back to her house to meet her son, who's at the school, and one of the lawyers on this landmark right to read case.
So I was hoping to catch you guys up on where we are with the case.
She explains the state of Michigan has just responded to the claim they're failing to teach kids to read.
This is one thing the state said. While pointing the finger at defendants, the state, plaintiffs ignore many other factors that contribute to illiteracy, such as poverty, intellectual limitations, domestic violence, trauma, and other numerous influences.
I am shocked that they will put this in writing.
None of these things have to do with whether or not you should have the opportunity to learn to read.
Why is it so important for you, Andrea, to be part of this case?
Literacy is a direct correlation to the prison population. Being educated is everything.
In a few weeks' time, they'll find out whether the case will be heard in court. If they're successful, it will enshrine into law across America that school authorities have a duty to ensure kids can read. Reynard's invited me back to the boxing gym. He's been studying for several hours every evening. His exam is just 2 weeks away, and he wants to show me how far he's come.
Do you want to read it to me?
Sure thing.
Thank you.
Current and future goals. Learning is way of life, especially in school, because without an education, you will go nowhere in life. I used that twice. In conclusion, I want to go to Martin Luther King Jr. High School because I will then be one step closer to my dream, becoming an electronic engineer.
How do you feel your reading has improved by coming to the gym?
Well, now in school, I feel more confidence of speaking out loud, asking my teacher, could I read? Like, usually I just sit back and let everybody else go, but now I really want to be involved with the reading.
Reynard's reading may still be behind, but he's improving fast.
Every single conversation I had with Reynard, I just kept thinking how lucky he was that he managed not to slip through the net, because if it hadn't been for the boxing gym and all the extra tutorials he's been getting, I don't know if he'd be the sunny, confident boy he is today.
I want to catch up with Jerry one last time. Michael Evans is the director of the Literacy Center.
So nice to see so many people who are all gathered together for the same reason. We all want to learn. Isn't it great when you learn? Yay!
It's a big day for Jerry. He's being awarded for his dedication to learning to read.
There's people who show up, and then there's people who really show up. I mean, show up there, rain or shine, snow, and says, I'm going to get my learning no matter what. And this gentleman, his name is Jerry Melson, and your certificate is for outstanding attendance. And what I mean by outstanding is shining far above anybody else. He shows up all the time with a good attitude, positive attitude. Jerry, thank you very much for being here.
Thank everybody for participating and helping me.
Michael wants to end the stigma around adult illiteracy.
So there's the expectation that literacy is available to everyone, but it actually really isn't. What we are trying to do is to raise awareness that it's okay to continue your learning, because all of us are lifelong learners anyway.
But Jerry's still unsure about reading a book with his granddaughter. He's twice invited us round to film him doing it, but then he's cancelled. We're trying again today.
I am nervous for Jerry because I really don't know if he's going to be able to go through with reading his granddaughter a bedtime story. He doesn't remember ever reading a book to his daughters either. So this would be an entirely new thing for Jerry. I really hope he can do it.
Will you invite us in? Should we go in? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Is your mummy back?
I want you to read it.
Jerry's been working up to this for months.
You're reading. You're reading.
I'm reading. Why don't you read?
You can.
Do princesses eat the bread?
Crust of
Of
their bread.
Your turn.
When princesses laugh, do they sometimes snort?
No, 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 boo.
Okay.
What about that one, Jerry? Your turn.
Do princesses cry and make a fuss?
No, they never give up.
They never give up, but...
Mommy, do princesses seem at all like me?
And C. Look. Oh, what does it say?
A princess is a place in your heart.
Whoa, victory! Yay. My mom can read this tonight, and maybe I can read it every day.
Would you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay, give me a hug.
Oh, your coat's soft.
I'd spent so much time worrying about Jerry, I'd forgotten that, of course, the minute you sit down with a child and a book, you have a wonderful time. Lele is an amazing little girl with an extraordinary imagination, and we just had so much fun.
Jerry's made a breakthrough, confronting his fears and discovering the joy of reading with a child, something he missed out on with his daughters. The Detroit schoolchildren bringing the lawsuit against the state of Michigan have yet to hear whether their case will be heard in court. Reynard didn't do as well as he hoped in his high school entrance exam. He's still waiting to hear if he'll be accepted.
Nobody respects women more than Donald Trump.
I'm Karishma Vyas, and I live in Trump's America.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
His views on women in public and private are far from politically correct.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs?
Sorry, if they let you do it, you can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the...
So why do so many of them support him? I'm heading out to meet some of his biggest cheerleaders. My first stop, Modesto, California.
Hi, Melinda. I'm Karishma. How are you?
Hi, Karishma. Come right in.
Thank you for having me over.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for coming.
Melinda Mason is a housewife and mother who wants to help President Trump make America great again.
This is the famous MAGA hat, and it's not made in Mexico.
Where is it
made? And I have my own pink, feminine, Make America Great Again hat. It's made in America.
It's made in the USA.
Yes, yes.
I've caught Melinda in the middle of a very busy week.
Come right on in. Here we are. This is my kitchen.
Oh, wow.
It's a little bit of a wreck because we've been going crazy, you know, getting ready for everything.
It doesn't look like a wreck. Seems like you've spent a lot of time.
I have spent a lot of time. I take a lot of pride in my photos, my family, my friends.
Right.
And a lot of little keepsakes.
Have you always been a homemaker?
I have. My heart's desire was to get married, to start a family, and be at home. And I took my job as a wife and as a homemaker super serious.
Amidst the family portraits, I can see clues to her other great passions.
I can't imagine you being a gun owner.
I am. I'm a proud gun owner, and I'm good. I'm a very good shot. And this is the dining room.
Melinda's home celebrates her conservative values.
There's a lot of politics in this room,
A lot of
isn't there?
politics in this room.
This looks like a...
Oh, this is actually a
President
flag.
Trump flag.
It is. My friend Donna, she got me this Trump flag for 2020. There was something about Trump that I fell in love with. I think it was his masculinity, to be honest. Now, looking back, I think it was the fact that I saw in him kind of what I have, that drive to do whatever it is we've got to do to make things better. He's probably the best president, not maybe even in my lifetime, but maybe in my parents' lifetime.
President Trump is quite controversial, especially with his relationship to women. He's talked about grabbing women by their private parts.
He talked about that when he was very young.
Wasn't that young? He was well into middle age.
He was actually, that I looked at that. It was actually, the media makes it sound like it was yesterday. It was not.
It was a few years ago, but he wasn't a young man.
It was. I don't know that, I mean, I'm not defending that he did that, of course. That would be the last thing I would do. But I am going to defend the fact that the man had the guts to admit that he did it, which is a lot different than most presidents we've had.
Right now, Melinda's planning what she says is the country's first ever straight pride rally. It's a protest against gay rights. She's invited me to come along later in the week, but the whole thing might be called off. The council has pulled their permit. A quick search on YouTube throws up an entire movement of right-wing housewives devoted to the politics of the president.
Women that got Trump elected, and I guess to be really edgy, it was also women that got Hitler elected. Because here it is. That's what it's about, guys. I get to give birth under a Trump presidency.
They call themselves Tradwives.
None of what I do is feminist. I sure don't share their values of wanting to destroy white male-created society. You can almost name any problem and you can really directly link it to feminism. I'm issuing a white baby challenge. I've made 6, match or beat me.
But their traditional values are just the tip of a wider social agenda.
We don't need foreign babies. We have plenty of our own babies.
I've tracked down the godmother of the Tradwife movement to Los Angeles. I'm here to meet Dixie Anderlin Forsyth, housewife and author from Missouri. She isn't political, but she is an anti-feminist.
Escalate it more and then diffuse.
Today, she's directing videos for her YouTube channel, Fascinating Womanhood.
Yeah, you just have to hear it. You don't have to see
This one is showing women how not to act around an angry male boss.
Action. Jane, you want to explain that to me?
You don't have to scream.
Really? Because apparently I must be doing something wrong, because you're not able to perform your job appropriately.
I don't deserve this kind of treatment.
Good.
Perfect.
So if that's not how women should react, then what should we do? Take 2.
And action. Jane, you want to explain that to me?
Look, I am completely responsible. I scheduled you 30 minutes extra, and I did not want you to be late to your flight.
I understand. Well, it's really not that big a deal. Can you check and see what time I'm supposed to leave?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
That was perfect.
Okay.
So some would look at the scenario and say you're teaching women to be quite submissive rather than, taking control.
Oh, not at all. Actually, it's very subtle, but yet very sophisticated. She has him wrapped around her little finger. She doesn't do that by ordering him around. Men don't respond to that.
Dixie's written a kind of Bible for Tradwives. She believes women are happiest when they're supporting men and masculinity instead of challenging them. And her message is attracting an ever wider group of supporters.
Hi.
Oh, finally.
I know.
Julianne Davis is one of them. She's a Hollywood actress who's been in films like Eyes Wide Shut.
I'm in awe of you because, I mean, how many kids have you had again?
7.
It's just unbelievable, you know. I mean, for me, I was always thinking, you know, because I bought the whole thing that they would say, you're better than that. You don't need to stay home and have babies. You have more to offer the world, you know? So I was always so focused on my career, and I kept saying tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow with having babies, and now look at me, babyless.
What feminism is saying, frankly, just doesn't work very well. We need men to be men, and we like to be women, and there's nothing shameful about being female and feminine.
The next day, I meet up with Julianne and Dixie. They're taking me on a tour of the city.
So what part of town is this?
So, well, we're right in the middle of an area called Skid Row. It's basically homeless central. So much worse than the last time I was here. So much worse. And you know what? All of this stems from broken families and from bad relationships and people looking at their lives like, I'm a victim. I mean, look at this. I would not want to get out of the car right now. Our society is ill.
Man and a woman can have a solid relationship where he's masculine and she's feminine, and they support each other. That child has the best chance. It's not guaranteed, because they can still get in the wrong crowd and you know, end up in a drug habit, in crime. But by far the majority are going to be more stable.
Do you think same-sex couples can have traditional values and can be strong family units?
Same-sex couples don't really have children. If they have them, they have to adopt them. To have a child, you still have to have a man and a woman. You can't do it 2 women or 2 men.
It takes away from the idea of the traditional nuclear family, and the whole point of progressivism is they want to destroy the family. They want to destroy it. So they're destroying it with feminism, they're destroying it with the promotion of LGBTQ, putting it into the mainstream.
Of course, there is another side to LA, the Tinseltown side, where struggling actors and wannabes rub shoulders with the liberal super wealthy. So what's it like for Julianne being a right-wing actress in such a liberal city? I mean, when I think Hollywood, I think Democrat, not Republican.
She doesn't feel safe meeting me around where she lives because she says it's risky broadcasting her conservative views. So I'm meeting her at a secluded park.
It sounds a little bit paranoid.
It does. Take it the wrong way.
No, I realize it sounds paranoid. I realize it sounds paranoid. But immediately when I talk politics, I lower my voice, especially if you're in a restaurant or a cafe, because I don't want people spitting in my food, you know? And we've had people—
Would they really do that? You think that's a possibility?
I do think it's a possibility, because the vitriol is just really palpable right now.
Are you looking at people behind me?
Yeah.
Should we wait until?
Let's wait until they've passed. I just don't want to talk about that in a public place. Oh, I don't know what their views are.
Have you faced personal backlash?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been called every name in the book, including the effing C word, many, many, many times, including by people that I know. Here's one. You forgot to wear your white hood, Julianne.
So he's accusing you
of being a KKK, which is just insanity.
Back in Modesto, it's the night before Melinda's straight pride rally, her answer to gay pride.
We ask God that you would purge out the evil from amongst us, that you would separate the sheep from the goats and the wheat.
They've been planning this for a year.
This has been a journey. This has been a long journey, and it's been such a great journey. And I do take it very seriously.
Hallelujah. Glory to God. Our freedom of speech is very much on the verge of being blown up in our faces. And then we meet like this next year, we may be arrested.
All of us around this table, we're very biblical. And God says he made male and he made female in his image. He didn't make these other genders and stuff that they're trying to say. So we're standing up for God's word is what we're saying.
Do you really believe that values that you've put here, like heterosexuality, femininity, do you feel that that's in danger?
I feel that the opportunity to stand for those things in the public square and say, this is what I believe, is in danger, absolutely.
Melinda is all about devotion to family.
Matthew, hi.
Good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
But her relationship with her adopted son Matthew has broken down.
She has this brand that she has created for herself where she is just a sweet, middle-aged grandma church lady who is active in her community and active politically.
Matthew and his mum were very close until he turned 19.
I needed to live honestly and openly and freely in my identity as a gay man. In order to do that, I had to give up pretty much everything I knew. And then she kicked me out of the house, and I went and couch surfed for a little while until I got more stable.
It must be such a bizarre feeling because she raised you.
Yes.
From the time you were a baby.
Yes.
And she's opposing who you are.
Exactly. It hurts to see how she is negatively affecting my community and causing a lot of fear and angst and pain in the lives of people that I care deeply about.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the peril.
It's the day of the Straight Pride rally.
I'm walking to this event in the middle of nowhere. There's been so much controversy surrounding it that I can't show you or even tell you where it's happening. I didn't get the address myself till about 30 minutes ago.
O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming on the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof.
These are our napkins, and we'll open this. Let's open this. Did I say hi?
Hi.
Hi. We're having a ball with this.
I like the barn.
Okay, well, help yourself to anything. Right outside the door there, just to the left, is restrooms if you need it, okay?
Oh, okay.
Male and female, separate.
This is indeed historic day because, in fact, we are at war.
Amen.
And primarily it's an attack by
The first speaker is Don Grunman, one of the most active conservatives in Modesto.
Well, the many things we're going to be defending today. Masculinity, that it's okay to be a man. Yay! All right. We're supporting femininity.
Amen.
Feminism says that, those children are burdens on you. You don't have to carry that rock on your shoulders. Just dump that rock.
This is quite a surreal experience. I spoke to a lot of these people this morning. They're very nice, they're very welcoming, and then you hear the speeches.
How y'all doing?
Pastor Jesse Lee Peterson is an unusual figure, a black man with highly controversial views on his own community. He has an online chat show and appears on Tradwives YouTube channels.
Evil want to destroy the white man as they've done with the black man. If you notice, the average black man isn't worth a dime.
He's afraid to get married and raise his children. He is afraid to protect his family. If it wasn't for white people, there would be no America. And what white Americans have done is allow the people of color to take over the home.
I expected to hear speeches about traditional family values, but instead I'm hearing a speech about how white Americans are under attack.
What do you make of everything that's being discussed, Melinda?
Oh, I'm finding Jesse Lee Peterson to be very fascinating. His message is exactly the message I've been giving my children since they were very young, that one day you will be hated strictly because you are a male and you are white.
When did you tell your...
I began to tell my sons that probably when they were in the age range of 5, 6, 7, 8 years old.
Do you think women are under attack as well?
The housewife, the mother, the matriarch of the family has been beaten down. Our society has literally beaten the hell out of women to the point that they would rather go to a cubicle every day than nurse their own child and rock them. I don't understand it. So we have signs right there.
Suddenly, confusion breaks out.
We're leaving everything. God wants us to leave it.
Nobody really knows what's happening.
Tell them whatever they...
The rumor is that they were live streaming the event this morning and counter-protesters were watching them online. And from the background, they figured out the location and are now on their way here.
You guys weren't here at the beginning, but we said, this could go moment by moment. We really don't know. So maybe we go to a different venue.
So what is going on? There seems to be a bit of activity.
So if I could tell you, I would. I have no idea, except for evidently homosexuals, the homosexual community, has found out where we are. We're going to come back and do all this later. And that's why
the barn owner tells Melinda everyone has to leave.
He's freaking out. He's freaking out, honey. Because the farmer that owns this place, because the sodomites are at the door. So let's pray. I know. Lord, would you give them help and direction? Would you help the man to see that what he's doing is not wrong? What he is doing is not evil, is not hateful. They've been trying to figure out for over 3 weeks where we might be.
Is this the counter-protesters?
This is all the counter-protesters, yes.
Melinda tells everyone to gather outside an abortion clinic in town.
Oh, you just go straight, Bob. We're going to McHenry.
To Melinda, opposition to abortion and gay rights are all part of being a trad wife.
What does straight pride have to do with Planned Parenthood?
And you know what? What it is it all goes together. There's an agenda.
Pretty quickly, the counter-protesters show up.
No fascist USA! No Trump!
And guess who's with them?
KKK, no fascist USA!
It's Matthew, Melinda's gay son.
Welcome here, no hate, no fear!
I think I saw your son, your adopted son, Matthew.
I think you probably did, yes.
Is it weird seeing him at these events? Because outside of these events, do you ever get to see him?
Oh, yeah, until the last 3 years. The problem was he wanted to bring his gay lover, partner, into the home and portray it in front of my little grandchildren. That's a no.
Do you think God created him homosexual?
Absolutely not. Yeah, he tells us that he created us male and female. None are called to debauchery of the body. None.
Do you miss him?
Of course. Horribly. Horribly. We're so close, of course. Mm-hmm.
Love, that is hate. Stop lesbian!
In my time here, I've heard plenty about traditional family values.
Have a blessed rest of your day. Hope it's more
But at the rally, I'd also heard things that, to me, sound homophobic and racist.
Melinda, I've been thinking a lot about the Straight Pride event. Pastor Peterson said if it wasn't for white people, there would be no America. The Indians would still be here smoking pot. Do you think that's quite racist?
Do I think that's racist? I think his point being, again, that it was largely European males that came here driven by the hand of God. And because of that hand of God on them, they were willing to put their hand to the plow and work and make what we see today.
Are you saying that it was white European people that
Males,
built
that
men
largely,
that built America?
Largely so. That's just history.
What about America's history of slavery?
Jesse Lee gave us their beautiful history. He said, my history was we were black slaves, we were happy, and we felt free because of King Jesus.
But they weren't free, were they?
They weren't, and they were freed. And they were freed a long, long time ago. Let's get over it.
Melinda's straight pride rally may be over, but her conservative crusade certainly isn't. Presidential elections are looming, and Tradwives like Melinda are gearing up for battle to make sure their man stays in the White House.